In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, dear friends and fellows in Pakistan and abroad, the kind of experiences we are found doing, the kind of observations we people are found doing, some of these observations do tell us one thing or the other thing as far our experiences are concerned. Also our experiences does show us one thing or the other thing, one thing or the other thing, either because it was a pleasant experience or it has benefited me, and also these experiences of mine did not benefit me, rather harmed me. And there are observations, and some of the observations tell us one thing, and another some of the observations do tell us certain other things. Dear friends and fellows, these experiences these experiences and these observations are actually like a compass to us, and we do need to use this compass. We do need to use how to use it, because we are found making the rules out of these observations, out of these experiences. We people are found making the rules. We people are found making the rules, and these rules are actually being made for our own benefit, to protect us from certain unpleasant and certain harmful experiences. On the other hand, somehow to raise the probability, to raise the chances of doing making the pleasant experiences, the rules are made. These rules are not the laws of the country, these rules are not the constitution of the country. This is not for the this is not meant for a kind of big group. This is not meant for a kind of business or company or NGO. Dear friends and fellows, these are the rules for we ourselves, because we want to improve, because we want to improve our performances, because we want to improve the kind of results we people are reaping, the kind of results we people have been achieving. We want to improve the results, we want to get closer to whatever we do want, and we want to distance ourselves from what we don't want. So these are the rules. The rules are being made. Each and every one of us is actually found making the rules, and this is actually the sanity. This is actually the proof that the person is a sensible one, that the person has the ability to learn something, one thing or the other thing, from every of the experience, from every of the observation. So this person does have the ability to learn one thing and to learn other things. This actually shows that the ability to learn and the ability to improve as well, but it will become useless thing unless and until we do put it into practice. Because if at all we are now found making the rule, but at the time arrive, suppose one person is gaining extra weight, he she want to lose the weight. If at all unfortunately somebody has become a diabetic, now these people have decided to avoid the sweet items in their food. Now these people have decided to have a good amount of walk on a regular basis. But when the time arrives, when the sweets arrived in their ahead of them, when the chocolate and the candies arrive in front of them, these people fail to implement and fail to practice and fail to put into use the rules they have been made making. Why? Because of the lack of the self discipline, because of the lack of the willpower. Here actually we need to think, we need to improve, we need to work harder on improving the self control, the self discipline upon ourselves, and we need to develop a kind of willpower. Because unless and until we do succeed in implementing this willpower, unless and until we do succeed in putting into practice this these rules unless and until we do cultivate, we do improve, we do gain, we do acquire the self discipline, we will not be able to put it into practice, we will not be able to use it, we will not be able to implement and to implement and to somehow to act according the rules we have been made, that I do have to do this thing, that I do have to avoid this thing. These are actually the do's and these are actually the don'ts. We need to act upon it, because unless and until we don't act upon it, what is going to happen, that we will not be able to get the kind of results we have been wanting, we have been desiring to achieve. Why? Because we are not learning. If at all we are learning, but we are not benefiting from our learning, what is the use of it? I am not suggesting that if at all we are unable to put it into use, all of the rules, then we should stop making the rules. I am not suggesting this thing, because this is absolutely insanity. Plus this is not practicable as well, because automatically, because intrinsically, because naturally, we people are found making the rules, that I do have to do this thing, that I do have to avoid this thing. So these are my do's and these are my don'ts. This is something very natural, but acting upon it, benefiting from it, putting it into use, it does need quite a good amount of effort, quite a good amount of struggle. But let me assure you that this kind of struggle, that this kind of effort are worth making and worth doing. Dear friends and fellows in Pakistan, dear friends and fellows abroad, this is all the criterion to be a successful person. Another, some of the people, they do make rule, but they are easily dissuaded. These are easily demotivated by the other people, upon whose benefit, upon whose interest these rules of ours are falling like an axe. So they people will try to dissuade us, will try to demotivate us, will try to detract us. Why? Because they don't want our benefit, rather they want to take advantage out of the confusion, because they do want us to act upon their according to their favor, to act according to their benefit, which is absolutely wrong for we ourselves. I'm not suggesting that we should become very selfish and self-centered person, not at all. This is not what I do mean. But at the same time, we don't need to be an altruistic person at all. We do need to strike a kind of balance between the two of these, and I think so. While making the rules, we do have to take care, a little bit of the care about the other people, but simultaneously or primarily, we do have to take care about we ourselves, because it's we ourselves who are responsible for our own benefit, for our own welfare, and no one else. Actually, as far the responsibility of our welfare is concerned, as for the responsibility of our own betterment is concerned, as for our obligations are concerned, no one else will take the responsibility except we ourselves. And this is what we need to ensure. As far the rules are concerned, we have been making these rules automatically but naturally, but for the sake of its implementation, for the sake of putting it into use, all what is needed is that we need to develop a kind of self disciplinary muscle. We need to learn the self discipline, we need to practice the self control, and we need to enhance our willpower. As for increasing the willpower of ours is concerned, it is automatically attached to our self discipline. The more disciplined we are, automatically we will become even a better person at ourselves, at our self control. And as for the implementation of these rules are concerned, I think so it can take us towards the right direction. Making the rules does not mean that we cannot evolve it further, we cannot improve it further, we cannot develop it further. Absolutely wrong. As far as our life is concerned, we do have to keep developing, We do have to keep learning more and more. The more we do learn, the better our rules will become. Doesn't don't mean I don't mean that we shouldn't be found, chasing, shouldn't be found improving and making the amendments in our rules. We do need to make it, but what I am suggesting is that in the heat of the moment, at the time of the practice, at the time it is needed to practice, we shouldn't be doing it at that time. As far the amendments in the rules are concerned, there should be a time for that, but as for the implementation comes, we shouldn't be easily dissuaded and demotivated and detracted by the other people's persuasion. And also we shouldn't be showing lack of lack of self control. We should always be ready for a very hard work. We need to do a kind of hard work. We need to control ourselves. We need to put extra amount of effort to control ourselves. We need to go extra mile for it, because it is worth doing, because it is really one of the great, and rather I shall say it is the greatest merit. It is not only one of the greatest merit, rather it is the biggest and the greatest quality of good quality of a human being, and it will ensure our good life and our success, inshallah.